Really hot. Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. It's Union Berlin against Bayern Munich this afternoon. So hello everybody and welcome. I hope you're all having a good time and I hope you're all ready for a watch-along which we've got for you this evening, this afternoon even. Looking forward to it. Second one, we had the day yesterday, didn't we? I'm really hot. I don't know. I've just been for a quick walk. I've got some breaking news on that quick walk actually. Jesus Christ. Anybody who's saying don't bring football back because of the watch-along. Sorry. Don't bring football back because it's not safe. Open your eyes, people. Open your eyes. Bloody hell. Aldi at lunchtime is like a normal Sunday, and I've just took Seb out for a little walk down to the duck pond, which is just about two-minute walk from our place. I saw 10 bikes, and then beyond the bikes, I saw about 20 youths, about 15, 16, 17-year-old lads, just sat there chilling out in the sun, drinking. And they will be from about 15, 20 different households. They will go back to those 15, 20 different households, and if any of those 15, 20 lads have got it, they've just spread it to about well over 200 people. So, and that's just 2 minutes away from where I live. So this is going around all the UK. We ain't even on lockdown anymore. So, I think what Troy Deeney and Danny Rose and other people say about it not being safe, they're valid points, but we aren't even in a lockdown in this country. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody's adhering to it. So it's a pointless exercise. It really is. And maybe we are heading to a second wave, but we'll see what happens with it. But look, let's get ready to rumble and let's get ready to play. Not play. I've done my FIFA. I'm very happy with my FIFA. If anyone's not watched it, I'm not going to ruin it for you, but I'm very happy with my FIFA stream this afternoon. But we've got Union Berlin against Bayern Munich. I'll give you the team news. Neuer's in goal. Pavard, Boateng, Alaba, Alphonso Davies, Kimmich, Thiago, Müller, Goretzka, Gnabry and Lewandowski. Very strong Bayern Munich team. They're going to be very, very firm favourites for this game. On the bench, Perisic is on the bench, Hernandez is on the bench, Koeman's on the bench with Croissants, I don't know how that, Ulrich, May and Xerxes. The Union Berlin team, if I know any of these players, I'll be very, very surprised. Gikiewicz, Hubner, Schotterbeck, Subotic, Trimmel, Andrik, Brommel, Lenz, Ingvartsen, Uwe and Buta. And I think Buta has been on my career mode playing for somebody. Subotic used to play for Dortmund, I believe. So I do know who he is. So yeah, I know a little bit. Pizza recipe's not even been made yet. And I can't believe my next door neighbours are having a party, says Young. But I mean, as somebody who actually does want the, things to get back to normal. But I'm not like... To this extent, it's just a bit ridiculous, isn't it? Call the police, says Zishan. Mate, I'm not a grass, even though I used to work for the police. I'm not a grass. And two, what's the point in calling the police? They've easily been there for at least an hour. If they've got it, they've spread it and they're taking it home. It's too late. Getting people to come and disperse parties, they're too late. When the idiots have done it, they've done it. Stopping the gathering in the first place is the key to stopping the spread of this virus. And that's not happened, so it's already too late. Mark, thanks for the content, says Shanwaz. And thank you very much for your comment, but please don't spam it because you've just put yourself into a timeout now. So there you go. You can't do that. And who doesn't want it to go back to normal, says Joe Tomlin. I think there's a lot of people who don't want it to go back to normal. A lot of people feel that it's too early to be coming out of lockdown, but unfortunately, half the country, I would say at least, already has. So, yeah. Let me just put a tweet out. Please do share the video if you're watching as well. Oh, I tell you what, that walk has done me absolutely no good. I suffer with hay fever and it's messed up my nose and I've got a bit of a headache now and I've got a sore throat. So, yeah. Anyway, I've put my tweet out. That's what I wanted to do and we're on the ball. Il Hobson says, I love this channel. What's my score prediction? 5-0 to Bayern Munich is my score prediction. Yeah. I don't see it. I don't see it being anything other than a win for Bayern Munich. But I would love Union Berlin to get something out of it because Borussia Dortmund are 1 point behind Bayern Munich now, but obviously Bayern Munich have got this game in hand today. So Bayern Munich play Borussia Dortmund in about a week's time. So that it would be great if they did drop points, but I just can't see it happening, to be honest with you. November 59 supporting her Union Berlin. Not to be confused with Hertha Berlin, of course. But yeah, I know what you mean. There we go. What's your predictions on score, mate? And how strange is football when without fans in the ground at least? We have football back on TV. Hope you're good, mate, says Jacob Hurley. And we spoke about this a little bit yesterday. I think the game sort of took precedence as it always will. But I do feel that a lot of people are happy to have football back, to have that competitive element back is nice. But on another level, it is odd. I mean, a lot of what's superb FIFA stream earlier, says Cole Lancaster. Yes, it really was. And I think a lot of people are, looking at the bench and seeing players sat 2 metres apart and then they come on the pitch. I mean, a lot of this it's political. It's political. It's to say, look at what we're doing. Look at the masks. It's all for show, that is, because the players have been training with each other each week, every day. But 6-1 to Bayern, says Haider Ali. What do you think about Kimmich as a DM, says Abe? Well, we'll see in this game today. And Omar says, I've never heard of Union Berlin before. I've got to be honest, I had heard of them, but Hertha Berlin are the team that I normally know about. What do you make of the Hose Haaland interviews? Very weird, said Jamie. Well, I said it on the United Stand this morning. I do think that it is a bit weird, the way Haaland is trying to be a bit like Zlatan. United should be back in training tomorrow, TJ Network. And have you heard of a player called Alpha? No, Pogba out. And Mark, when are United back in training? I've read that. Stop doing that, please, Hamza, or you'll be in a timeout. Looking very handsome today, says Safe. Get your glasses on. And I am live. You're not, mates. No one's looking at you because you're gone. And well done on that by Luca. Mark, what do you think about next season and the Euros after the virus ends, says Saish. I don't know. You know what? If I'm absolutely honest, what I think's happening with coronavirus now is that countries are just taking it on the chin. I think that people think that the daily numbers of dying people is going to drop down and then it's safe to come out and lockdown. I think every day you're going to see 300-400 people dying, unfortunately, and we're going to live with that. Whether it's Germany, they won't have those sort of numbers, of course, but whether it's Italy, Spain, UK, I think there's going to be a level of acceptance in relation to this virus, because that's not governments being weak or insensitive. I just think that's the power of this virus. It's just not going to disappear, so it will be around. Been to see Union twice. Good fans, bad football, says Fredster. That doesn't fill us with a lot of hope. A lot of people going for a Bayern win, and why can't we watch? Look, why can't we watch the quiz from last night? Piss off about the quiz. I'm bored to death about listening to people ask me about the fucking quiz. The quiz isn't on YouTube. Figure it out. I've told people 3 times. Drawty's told you. There was something wrong with it after it had gone live. When I was live, the camera cut out. It's messed it up. So we had to take it down because it was unwatchable in portions. It's still on Facebook. Go and watch it on there. Stop boring everybody talking about the fucking quiz. Opening opinion. No, I'm not going to. I am not. I don't care if this is a super chat or not. I am not talking about Harvey Price trending yesterday. So forget about it. And 3-0 to Bayern, I'm saying, says Dylan Wright. And Koeman's on the bench, Mr. Beast. And this is funny. Jordan Play says, what's Dennis Zakaria like? So Dennis Zakaria plays for Borussia Mönchengladbach. No word of a lie. I got a message from my mate yesterday who's trying to get into Bundesliga. And he said, Mönchengladbach looked good. We should sign that Dennis Zakaria. And I went, you watched the game then, did you? And he went, yeah. I went, no, you didn't. He went, yeah, I did. I said, no, you didn't, because he didn't bloody play. So why are you telling me that Dennis Zakaria is great for Mönchengladbach and he didn't play? And he went, oh, no, I just mean in general. And I went, but last week you said you've never watched the Bundesliga. You didn't watch Mönchengladbach play, did you? No, and he hasn't messaged me back yet. Dennis Zakaria had a knee injury before lockdown, and he's had to have he's had to have an operation on it. So Dennis Zakaria to anybody this summer is highly unlikely, because I don't think he's going to be playing this summer. He's got quite a bad injury. So yeah, that's what's happening with him. Right. Do you think Upamecano would be a good rotational centre-back for United, says Hamzy? I don't know how well he played yesterday for Leipzig. I don't know. I do quite like Konate over him, though, if I'm honest with you. If the Premier League comes back, do you think Manchester United could become top 4, says Mark Gillespie? Oh, I've got to be a little bit careful here, because I have said that Manchester United will comfortably get top 4 if we get the season back. And I do really think that will be the case. But God, I can't believe this really annoys me. One minute. I'm going to have to just make myself disappear for a minute here, because otherwise it's going to look proper weird to all of you lot. Right, okay. So, yeah, I think in relation to Manchester United, I think that Manchester United will definitely finish in the top 4. That's just sort of what I feel will happen. But I don't really get why that is suddenly a surprising thing to people, because I think Manchester United have been very, very good up until the lockdown, and then we've got 2 very, very important players coming back in in Pogba and in Rashford. So I think we'll be comfortable. Yeah, I do. I think we will get top 4. I mean, we've got an easier run in than Chelsea. But you know what? I would offer this olive branch out to Chelsea. I like Lampard. I've said all season I like Lampard. I think Lampard's a better coach than Ollie, even though Ollie has proved he's a better coach, if that makes sense. Because I like Lampard's style of play. I like Lampard's use of youth. And I think there's still 2 areas that Solskjaer is questionable on. His style of play and his development of youth. I don't think he's terrible at it. I just think Lampard's done better. But Ollie's beaten Lampard 3 times. So that shows that tactically you've got to say Ollie's the better manager. So I've got no problem with Chelsea, but I think United will finish above them. But I'm not convinced Chelsea will finish out the top 4, because I still think that Leicester could drop out the top 4 because they've not been in great form themselves. Dan Watson says, United are 37 points behind Liverpool. Let's not pretend they've been good. Well, Dan, well done. You've just won the most irrelevant comment of the day award. And basically you should write Pratt on your forehead with a marker pen, because that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about top 4. Nobody can dispute that Manchester United have had a bad season, but we're talking about the race for top 4. Liverpool aren't in the race for top 4 because Liverpool are in the race to win the title, which they will. If every conversation we're just going to talk about how far ahead Liverpool are, we may as well not talk about anything else. So we're talking about the race for top 4, and we're talking about Chelsea and Manchester United. Well done, you're going to win the league. We've won it loads of times. You've won it no times in the Premier League. You're going to win it this year. Enjoy that, but you're not involved in this conversation. Leicester surely will get 3rd, says Alan Gilter. Well, they should get 3rd, but it might not be the case. It might not happen. Mark, who would you like to see as CDM if United are looking to buy one this summer, says Salish. And Didi is my number 1 choice. I've said this many a time. And Didi would be my number 1 choice. Who is your idealistic midfield 3 for the rest of the season for United, says PT Gaming. I think you've got to. I think you've got to stick with Matic on form, and I think it's got to be Matic, Pogba, and Bruno. But you know that means not picking Fred, and we're not even going to talk about Scott McTominay. So I do feel a little bit guilty saying that, but I think that's sort of what I would say, and I'm going to say it. Connor says that Union Berlin play a little bit like Arsenal. Mark, shit then. We move on. But I tell you what, one of the interesting aspects about the Premier League returning, and look, I think the Premier League's going to return. I think the only thing that's going to stop the Premier League returning is what I've just seen outside today twice. Aldi, the shop, packed, and loads of kids and youths hanging about on parks. So the infection rate's going to go up because people aren't adhering to the social distancing. So if it shoots up massively, everything will go into lockdown again. I don't really understand what the government are doing. I've got to be honest. But if the Premier League returns, getting it back on track and talking about football, if the Premier League does return, then we've got this situation whereby Spurs have got Son and Bergwijn and Kane back, who would not have been back in for the run-in. United get Pogba and Rashford, as we've said. I think Chelsea will have a few players back in from injury as well. Kante, Hudson-Odoi. I don't know who else has been injured for them. I think Man City have Laporte back. So there's a lot of teams will have a lot of players back. So it's this weird, exciting mini-season scenario. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it if we can get it back. So we'll see. Keep the questions coming in. And, I must just say, please do subscribe if you're new. Bottom right-hand corner. We're nearly at 149,000. I need to change that in the top right-hand corner because I know we're on... I've not changed it from yesterday, but I know we're on 148. We're on 148,850. So we're 150 subscribers away from 149,000, and we're getting very close to 150,000. So please subscribe if you're new, and if you have subscribed, please share the video. There's a share button underneath. You can share it on Twitter and you can share it onto Facebook. But I will change that now. There you go. Loftus-Cheek will be back as well, but Tony Gamer says he's irrelevant. Upamecano didn't play yesterday, says Mr. Beast. There you go. I mean, that was a big surprise that Leipzig dropped points, but they could have lost. What if United failed to be in for second Europa League? Don't come back, says Akil. Sort of answered your own question there. I like that, but thanks for the super chat. Would Jadon come to United if we don't get top four, says Toby Banks? I think it would enhance the chance of other clubs to get Jadon Sancho if United don't have the Champions League football. Upamecano was suspended, says Tilouays. Pogba will come to Real Madrid, says Sika. I don't think he will. And who is better this season, Maguire or Wan-Bissaka, says Mr. Tomato Soup, bruh. Wan-Bissaka for me has been absolutely superb. It's Norwegian National Day. Happy Norwegian National Day to anyone who's Norwegian. What do you think of a Pogba-Sancho swap, says Kylo Lee. Never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Pogba would not want to go to Dortmund. So, just never going to happen. I think United, and they wouldn't have the money to pay him anyway. So, yeah. I think United need players now to rotate with our current players, says Hamzy. And who's everyone supporting in this game? Let's talk about Union Berlin against Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich have got all the big guns playing today. Goretzka's playing, Toliso's playing, Kimmich is playing, Gnabry's playing, Lewandowski's playing. I don't think Muller's playing. I don't know whether Muller's fit. Oh no, Muller is playing, sorry. Muller's playing, Gnabry's playing, Lewandowski, Goretzka, Thiago, Kimmich, Davies, Alaba, Boateng, Pavard. Toliso's not playing. It's Thiago who's playing. I've mixed that up. I don't know whether Toliso's injured or not because he was linked to Manchester United. Coutinho's injured as well, says no context MG. Lucas Hernandez is on the bench, yes, Anthony. And how's Seb's hair marks as Leon talks live? It's good. It's good. Thanks for the super chats, everybody. And please do, if you want to do that, you can do that through the $ at the bottom. We'll definitely give those a read out. There's no news on Sancho. Tolisso doesn't start for Bayern, says Max. Well, he doesn't even make the bench either. Just shows you the squad depth. Alphonso Davies, what a player, says Michael Foley. Yeah, he's definitely a player to keep an eye on for today's game. And what else? 5-0 to Bayern, says Ronan Barrett. 3-1 to Bayern, says Malmus. And who do you want to be sold in the summer, says Owen Fee. How much would a prime Ji-sung Park be in today's market, says Luke Smith. And we need Alphonso Davies, says Jordan Pilley. I think Manchester United are quite well stacked, if I'm honest, at the back. Left back, I like Brandon Williams, and I do like Luke Shaw. I've said that many a time before. So, yeah, I'm happy with those, if I'm honest. Yeah. They're not Muller-like. Muller's playing, but a good little joke from Philbo there. Davies is 10 times better than Shaw, says Vandy Candy. Debatable. Right. Berlin. So who are we going for the win? Berlin or Bayern? Get it in the live comments. We had a chance to get Alphonso Davies anyway. Rattled says even if we aren't going to get him. We did have a chance to win, to get him. Bayern Munich's goal difference is absolutely way better than Dortmund's, by the way. Mr. Beast wants Union Berlin to win. And so does Seb. And I'll be honest, I don't support any Bundesliga club, nor really ever watched it. I'm watching today because I've missed live football, says Southpaw Love Sports. Thanks for the super chat from Southpaw Love Sports. And yeah, I think we're all in that boat, aren't we? I mean, especially at this time on a Sunday, what are you going to do? United Stand's not on till 8 o'clock. I've done the FIFA stream. Songs of praise. Repeats of Batman. You know, there's some live football on. It's Bayern Munich. Would I normally be doing this on a Sunday afternoon? No, I'd be watching Super Sunday on Sky Sports, Premier League football. But at the moment, I've got to be honest. If I couldn't watch Premier League, I'd probably watch Serie A. If I couldn't watch that, I'd watch the Liga. And if I couldn't watch the Liga, I'd probably watch Bundesliga. So it's fourth on my list. But there's nothing else to eat at the moment. So we are eating the German sausage, aren't we? We are eating we are drinking the German beer. We are, what else is German? We are driving the Volkswagen. We are, what else? Something else German. German sausage, German beer, German car. Yeah, sorry Germany. My cultural reference to your countries revolves around eating sausage, drinking beer and driving a car. Unfortunately, there you go. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about him, Ullman. He was a bit of a shit, wasn't he? I think we all know who we're talking about. Was around in the 40s, didn't make the 50s, thankfully. Mark, how can you watch football without commentary, says the boss. How do I had people saying this to me yesterday. How do I watch football with a commentary? Like, hello? I've done the United Stand watch-alongs for 5 years. How could I have commentary on and be talking to you lot? I never have anything in my ears unless we've got a guest on. So I'm used to watching football without commentary, and I'm used to watching football without crowd noise. So to me, the only thing is the visual aspect of not seeing fans there, which is somewhat sad. But it is what it is. And it ain't what it ain't. Bayern to win 3-0. BT must be making a fortune right now, says Jake. I did get a BT monthly pass, I must be honest. I have got a timer for everybody. There'll be people behind, there'll be people ahead. There'll be people who've already know the score, and there'll be people who haven't even started watching the game yet. So we haven't yet. Who's the best player for Berlin? Says Daniel Hall. I'm going to go with Subotic because it's the only player I know. There was somebody on my FIFA stream who actually was a Union Berlin fan, and I hoped they were going to come in the live comments because they could have helped us. But yeah. Thanks for everyone who's doing the super chats, by the way. Really appreciate that. Not going to lie, they are appreciated. The $sign at the bottom, and please do subscribe if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. Let's see if we can get up to 149,000 today. We're 4 minutes away from kickoff, and there is a Sunday night show of the United Stand. Yes, it's got Ricky on it. Yes, I'll tell you what, shall I just get Ricky to do it and I won't do it? The Ricky loving. We are still 160 subscribers away from 149,000. That's my aim today. So please share the video. There's a share button. Please share it. Let's see if we can get up to 149,000 subscribers. Otherwise, it was a waste of time doing it. Unless Union Berlin win, in which case we could be watching something great. What's for dinner tonight, says Toby Banks. Well, I'm glad you asked, Toby, because I'm having curry. Some of the curry I made on Thursday, of which you can see the recipe and the filming of on Mark Goldbridge Cooks Curry. Search it on YouTube. It's not trending. It never will, but it's a good video. I've got some of that curry left. So after this, a nice curry, and then 8 o'clock United stand. Looking forward to it. I don't think we did freeze it, Murray. I think it's probably still in the fridge, but it might be frozen. I don't know. I don't get involved in retention of food, whether it goes in the fridge or the freezer. I don't know. I'll tell you what I have got. I'll tell you what, actually, yesterday I'm a little bit disappointed. Dazees Gaming says I don't see Bayern losing this, and I think you won't be in the minority with that opinion. But I do feel a little bit bad yesterday because, look, I enjoyed the Dortmund games. We had a good bit of banter. I think a lot of people had forgotten that this channel actually is about general watch-alongs. And, we do the FIFA every day, and we've done the FIFA every day on lockdown, and it's been great fun. But we also had... we've always done watch-alongs on this channel. I set this channel up for the World Cup a couple of years ago for watch-alongs, and that's what we do. And we were back yesterday, and we're back again today with another watch-along. But what we didn't do yesterday, and which was a little bit upset about last night when I was lying in my bed, I thought, you know what, that was a good watch-along, but could it have been any better? Yes, it could. Yes, it could, because what these watch-alongs have always been about is, yeah, we're watching the football, but look, with all due respect, we're not hardcore Bayern fans and we're not hardcore Union Berlin. We're watching a bit of football whilst we're interacting. And we didn't have enough yesterday, top fives, or is this better than this, or is this better than that? We sort of touched on the favourite flavour of Pringles. I want more of that. I want more of the who's better than who and top 5 things. So that's what we do. What's my most viewed video, says the boss. Oh, I don't know. I bet. I tell you what. I bet my most viewed video. I bet I'm not even in control of it. It'll be something like Goldbridge rages about the ball not being over the line by the YouTube channel I Nick Other People's Content. It'll be something like that. I don't know what my biggest video is. I've got no idea. How many views has 442's got? We got about 100,000, so I bet they've got way more with all their. Let's have a look. 260,000 they've had on theirs. I've had more than that. It's not about the numbers though, is it? Right, anyway, we're about to kick off here. What's that? Alright, thanks. Goodfellas or Scarface? Yes, Murray. That's what I'm talking about, Murray. That is what I'm talking about. Goodfellas, Godfather or Scarface. Well, I tell you what, if it's Goodfellas Pizza or Domino's, Domino's kicks the arse out of it. But Godfather, Goodfellas or Scarface. Depends which Godfather you're talking about, Murray. But yeah, keep that sort of stuff up. We are about to kick off here. Is the timer working? Yes, it is. You can sync in with me if you want to. There's the timer above where it says Union Berlin. I know he's asking me. My answer is Godfather are my favourite films. Which company is despised more in the football world? City Sports Group or Red Bull? Says Southpaw Love Sports. I'd say City, isn't it? Chelsea are getting top 4. Says Carefree CFC. Well, look. Talk to the hand, bro. Talk to the hand, bro, because the face ain't listening. Got a bit of good. See, as soon as the football kicks off, my mood, and I was in a good mood, but my mood goes up a lot. I love it. I love having the football back. And you'll get everyone on Twitter going, oh, what's the point? I saw Piers Morgan, don't get me started on Piers Morgan. I saw Piers Morgan saying, I watched a bit of the Dortmund game, but without fans there, it was like a boring exhibition game. What's the point? And he just doesn't want anything back. All he wants is lockdown because he knows he's on the telly 5 days a week and everyone gets to listen to him moaning. But I tweeted him back and says, well, if you don't want to watch football, let everyone else who wants to watch football watch it, and you go and look at something that you'll enjoy, like a mirror. Yeah, big Ed. Anyway, have you ever been addicted to coffee? Says Timmy H. I do like coffee, but I don't do good with caffeine. It's why I had a particularly bad weekend. The game has kicked off, by the way. It's steady. It's a steady start. And welcome to Southpaw of Sports, latest member of the club. Thank you for joining the members club. I had a bad episode with Red Bull. I used to drink Red Bull and vodka a lot. It was one of my favourite drinks. I don't even know if you can get Red Bull and vodka in a pub anymore. They probably say it's not allowed. It's a bit like snakebite, which I'll come back to in a minute. Remind me about snakebite. But Red Bull and vodka, used to drink it quite a lot. I had a particularly bad weekend, St Paddy's Day in Dublin, 2001, and Paddy's Day fell on a Monday, so I went out Friday night. That wasn't Paddy's Day. Saturday night, normal. Then I went out Sunday night because it was the night before St Patrick's Day, and then Monday, not everyone, but on St Patrick's Day on a Monday, well, whenever it's St Patrick, onto the roof of the bar there, just missed that one. Replay, Lewandowski, deflected shot over the bar. Of course, Bayern Munich are playing in white today, and Union Berlin are playing in red. But yes, so I'd had 4 days drinking in a row on Red Bull and vodka. And basically, on the Sunday night before St Patrick's Day, on the Monday night when I got in from St Patrick's Day, I woke up at about 2 o'clock in the morning and my heart was going... Sounds like something else, doesn't it? But it was going... And I was having heart palpitations from all the caffeine I'd put into my body over the 3 days. So yes, it was... I do like Red Bull and vodka, but I don't know whether you can get it in a pub anymore now. Snakebite is half a pint of lager, half a pint of cider, and it's topped off with a bit of blackcurrant cordial. But they won't do that for you in a pub. You can buy half a pint of cider, half a pint of lager, and you pour it yourself with a bit of blackcurrant in it. But that's what a snakebite is. Or it's when a snake bites you. It's one of the two. You haven't missed anything, Aaron O'Neill. It's 0-0. We're about 4 minutes in. You can sink in if you want to. I've got my timer on the screen. Reese had a snake bite for breakfast. Top 5 Premier League wingers, says Mark. Says Finn. Get in the live comments. That's one for you lot. Top 5 Premier League wingers. I'm going to be really controversial and say I'm putting Rashford in there. I don't care what you say. I mean, Rashford this season, his record from the left wing in those 3 months was stunning. Oh, shot there for Union Berlin as well. I don't know whether the ball had come back, but it was cut back across the face of the goal, straight at the keeper. Half a chance. Which manager would you have kept for longer? Moyes, Van Gaal or Mourinho? Callan Armstrong. I think they'd all... You know what? I probably would say Moyes, because I think that Mourinho had definitely overstayed his welcome, and so had Van Gaal. No, I wouldn't say Moyes, really. I'd probably say Van Gaal. Anthony says Mane, Salah, Sterling, Sane, Bernardo. Absolute crap. I've never seen such a biased load of rubbish as a top 5 wingers in my life, Anthony. Sane's been injured all season. Sterling's been crap all season. So I'll live with Mane, Salah and Bernardo, but I'm not putting Sterling and Sane in there. Rashford's in over those two. I don't care what anyone says. Bayern Munich on the attack now. It's good end to end in this first 5 minutes. Please do share the video if you're watching underneath, and subscribe if you are new. We're trying to get up to 149,000 subscribers today. Jake Bullman says, it won't let me sync back time. I have to watch live, says Jake. We're working on something where you can actually do that quite easily. But in the meantime, all you need to do is, if you're ahead of me, just pause to link in with that. Because obviously YouTube adds in a bit of delay. Yesterday, the YouTube delay was pretty much on point. But sometimes it can be up to 30 seconds. And then some of you, because it's German football, you might be getting it a few seconds ahead of the stream that I've got. So... just if you are ahead, you can pause and just link in with my timer. That's what you need to do. If I'm ahead of you, you're screwed. You can't move forward. We were going to do watch-alongs for the Euros, yes. Oh, another chance for Union Berlin there. They're catching them out a little bit. Uge up front. Ball over the top. Just watching it back there. Ball over the top to Uge. He's sprung the offside trap. Takes it down. Gets his shot off. And just wide. So, what I would say about this game is that Union Berlin have started better than Schalke did against Dortmund. And they're making more of a game of it. So, that's good to see. Hopefully they can keep it up. Interesting as well. Obviously, there's no fans in the ground, but looking at the stadium around the edge, this is a standing ground, of which they do have in Germany. Because if you look around on the far side, they've got a standing section, and behind the goal as well. There's a large proportion of this ground that looks like, unless they've took the seats out, I don't know what's going on there. How old is Kingsley Coman? Kenta, Renard. I don't know how old he is. He's saying whether he'd be good in the Premier League. But yeah, German football does have a standing, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Does anybody know when the last 2 episodes of The Last Dance are out, by the way? I'm just asking for a friend. And Josephine says, I support Dortmund. Well, you'd better be supporting Union Berlin then, because they come out tomorrow, do they? All right. I think they come out tonight in America, though, don't they? And Anup says, your highest viewed video was PSG Watchalong with 650,000 plus. Thank you, Anup. He's been out and checked that out. Give him a shout out. So why can't people rewind on their... This seems to be an issue. Why can't people rewind on their... on how you're watching the game? Because when I'm watching it on Sky or BT or Virgin Media in the UK, I can just hit the pause button and then press play. That's how you sink in. So what's going on? Illa United says Bayern are playing crap. Good. We don't want them to win anyway. They're top of the league. We want it to get exciting. If we're going to invest a bit of time into this Bundesliga over the next few weeks, we want to see an exciting title race. In fact, if I was the owner of the Bundesliga, I'd say Bayern Munich, there's nobody else watching football at the moment. Might be an idea just to draw against Union Berlin to make it really exciting. But fitness yesterday was the problem, wasn't it? Dortmund's fitness levels were way better than Schalke. And he's offside again. They are trying to spring the offside trap quite a lot, Union Berlin. And Uja, if that's his name, is quite good at it. Brian can't rewind. Why can't you rewind? Do you like Leverkusen, says Mr. Tomato Soup. Bro, I do. I do like Leverkusen. I'm not going to do a watch-along for it tomorrow, I don't think, because United Stand show's at 8 o'clock. So I wouldn't give up doing a United Stand show to watch a Bundesliga game. But I do like Leverkusen, and I felt that in the Europa League they were going to be the toughest game for United because they were doing really well. Of which there was some news today that they're looking to do the Champions League and the Europa League in August. You can't pause YouTube. Oh, is it on YouTube? I didn't know that BT Sports had put this on YouTube. Fair play. I didn't know that. Well, if you're watching it on certain things, you can pause it. No, it's not on. Oh, you want to pause my stream? I see what you mean, yeah. I know what you mean now. Oh, Inzaghi, I know. You can't pause your channel, Mark, which means you're 50 seconds ahead of some people. Yeah, I know what you mean. And I'm going to. I'm working on something for that. Don't worry. I'll sort it out for the next stream. Don't worry. I know a workaround. New YouTube settings. Turn DVR on so we can rewind. Says well. Ooh. Thank you, everybody. I know I'm aware of this. I'm going to sort it out for the next watch along. Yellow card for a Union Berlin player there. Mark, are you going bold? No, my dad did. I might go bold when I'm older, but I don't think that was a yellow card for him either. I don't think that was a yellow card for Lenz. I don't know what you lot think. I don't think it was a yellow card. Bilal says you can pause it. Are those balls behind me real? No, but these are. No, they're not real. It's a graphic, isn't it? How do you think coronavirus can be solved, says Jerks me. Mate, it's a very good thing. I'm open. I'm not getting involved. I've said my bits before. If someone wants to type away in the live comments, please do. Bayern are playing a very high line, says Alec Williams. They are. It leaves them a little bit open on the break. But I'm encouraged. Well, Lewandowski did say that in the first, it will probably take him 10 or 15 minutes to get going. So that's a little bit ominous. But in the first 10 or 15 minutes, Bayern have not been that good and Union Berlin have. So it's making it a little bit interesting. But hopefully they can do it. I mean, my score prediction was that Bayern would win 4-0. So who's watching today? Who watched my FIFA stream about an hour ago? Who is it? Have we got new people here or what? Alan P says the Bundesliga is a 2-team league, Mark. Well, you're wrong, actually, Alan, because hello, Alan. Most people have watched the FIFA stream, which is great. A lot of people just coming over, which is good. The Bundesliga is very tight at the top of the Bundesliga, in fact. And it has been tight for quite a while. So to say it's a 2-team league, at the moment, Bayern Munich are on 55, Dortmund are on 54, Mönchengladbach are on 52, Leipzig are on 51, and if Leverkusen win, they're on 50. So 5 points separate the top 5 at the moment. Now, granted, if Bayern Munich win, it'll be 8 points, but I think it's a 1-team league. I mean, one of our moderators, George Kyle, was saying this earlier before, that the Premier League is the most competitive league in the world because over the last 10 years, Bayern Munich have mainly won the Bundesliga, PSG have mainly won the French League, Juventus have mainly won the Italian League, and Barcelona or Real Madrid have mainly won that league. So, yet, over the last 10 years in the Premier League, United have won it, City have won it, Chelsea have won it, Leicester have won it, and Liverpool will win it. So we've had 5 winners in the last 10 years, where all those other clubs, all those other leagues have had 2 at most. Bayern are starting to take control of this game a little bit now. You know what? I've got to be honest. I'm enjoying this game more than I enjoyed Dortmund yesterday, and I don't know why that is. I think maybe Dortmund yesterday it was because, and I think this will happen. I think yesterday with the Dortmund game, we were almost so excited that it was always going to be a disappointment. Whereas today, we're coming back knowing that we've had games yesterday. And to me, today feels more like watching football. Whereas yesterday, it was like, oh, this isn't a new experiment. And the football sort of got lost in it, even though it was quite good. Whereas today, it was always about watching a football match. So I'm enjoying this even more, even though Bayern probably will win. Although Jerome Boateng's playing at the back, I think he's crap, he is. I was terrified when I thought he would come back. Tim says he's supporting Mönchengladbach. I'd rather I want Dortmund to win the league, but I'm probably supporting Mönchengladbach or Leverkusen. I don't think Mönchengladbach can win it. I think without Zakaria, they're going to struggle. I mean, that's ridiculous, that is. They're basically showing all the coaches and all the subs, and they're all social distancing by 2 metres. That's just for show. That's just for the governments and the people and the public to say this is what you should be doing, because they'll all have been training together all week. I'll tell you what, I nearly did a video on this. What is your favourite chocolate bar? I'm not going to do top 5. What's your favourite chocolate bar? Because I'm going to give you some options here. I've always liked, Bayern are in down the right hand side. Cross comes in, gone for a corner. Let's see what happens with the corner. Billy Smith likes a crunchy. Jack likes a Mars bar. A few people like a Snickers. Kinder Bueno, bin it. A lot of people like it, but I'm going to bin it. My favourite is Marvellous Creations Cadbury's with the popping candy and the jelly in it. I love it. Offside for Bayern. No, it's goal. Muller. I think it might be offside. No, that's a goal. That'll be a goal, I think. Looks onside to me. Yep, goal to Bayern Munich. He looked onside and it is. It's one of them ones, flicked on, headed it back, and he's just passed it into an open goal. Little bit lucky for Bayern Munich. Probably not the sort of goal you want from the game, but that is onside. He's onside. Well, no, he's offside up at the top, but he's not interfering with play, and then he is interfering with play. So, get into my live comments here. Why is this not offside then? This is an odd one, because Muller's off from the first bit, so he should be offside because he does interfere. Yeah, Muller's off there. Not the second bit. Muller's off on the first bit. That's got to be offside because he is interfering with play. Yeah, it's offside, definitely. Given offside, so no goal, offside. I hadn't noticed Muller on the first bit. So what happens is the cross comes in, they head it down to the back post, and when it goes to the back post, he heads it back across and Muller puts it in. But the head to the back post, Muller's actually offside on that phase of play. So offside, no goal. So we can go back to talk about chocolate bars now. It's no goal for Bayern Munich anyway. Subscribe if you're new. We're trying to get up to 149,000 today. Bottom right hand corner, please subscribe. And if you have subscribed, please press the share button. We're watching Union Berlin against Bayern Munich, but we're also talking about our favourite chocolate bars. I love Cadbury's Marvellous Creations. It's got popping candy in and it's got bits of jelly in. I am going to say something really controversial as well. I like a Topic with hazelnut in it. I really do like a Topic. And I like Whisper Gold. I like the classics, Mars and Snickers. But I like a Whisper Gold as well. Boost is nice. I do like a good Boost, Andy Barnes. Lion Bar, nah, it's got Rice Krispies in it. I love Flake and a Lunch Bar, says Liam. And Lindt has got 70% dark chocolate, so it's the best, says Yunan. I don't like dark chocolate that much unless it's on a Magnum with the ice cream because the sweetness takes away the bitterness. And it's no goal. Bilal's fasting. Sorry, Bilal. Give us a top 5 that doesn't involve food. But Bayern Munich not scoring is a good thing because we don't want Bayern Munich to run away with this game. Galaxy chocolate is probably better than Cadbury's, I would agree. Aero mint chocolate's delicious, Andy. I just had some of them Aero balls, mint Aero balls for lunch. Harry said some of them hugged Gnabry after the game. You know what? I think the social distancing celebration, again, is like the social distancing of the subs. It's done for show. It's done to show people who are watching that this is what you shouldn't be doing. Because they've all been training together all week. Cross coming in here. I think it's Kimmich with his nice little tash. And it's a crap cross. But the interesting thing about the Bundesliga, and can I ask somebody this? I'm going to. What did the Bundesliga 2 play this weekend? Because if they've played as well and the Bundesliga have played, let's see if there's any coronavirus cases for any footballer in the next week or so. Because I think that they will be. But if there isn't, let's play ball. Bundesliga 2 did play yesterday, thank you. Rosie hates double deckers and Abdul's not happy. I like them, but you know what? I think the brain can play tricks on you with nice ball over the top to Gnabry. How did they not score there? Bloody hell. It should have been 1-0 that time. Gnabry with the cross. Keeper at stretch has tried to stop the cross. It rolls behind Muller. It would have been a simple tap-in. I'll tell you what, Lewandowski is not just a great goal scorer. He's actually very intelligent, because he said, we might have a bad first 15 minutes, but after 20 minutes, we'll start to get into our gear. And that's exactly what's happened. Union Berlin cannot get into this game at the moment. Toffee crisps are okay, but I think they've got Rice Krispies in as well. You feel there's a Bayern Munich goal coming here. Come on, Union Berlin. Hang in there like the Berlin Wall. Actually, don't hang in there like the Berlin Wall, because it's been taken down. Jason Brickles made a good one. He says, what's the top 5 social media platforms? Look, I don't think they are the top 5, but my top 5 are, I like YouTube the best because I judge most of it on comments. I like YouTube the best because I think on the United Stand and on here, the live comments sections are my favourite areas. So YouTube for me is the best. I like comments under videos, but I like the live chat that we're doing now. So YouTube is the best, number 1. I do like Twitter. I know it's very toxic, but I do like Twitter. I think you can have a good debate on there, and there's a good bit of banter. And so, unfortunately, it does turn into quite bad abuse at times, but that's the problem with Twitter. They could make it better, but I do like football Twitter, so that's number 2. Instagram, number 3. And I don't really have a 5th or a 4th, because I don't really... I mean, Facebook. Facebook's just for old people, isn't it? And... I don't really do I don't do TikTok or Snapchat or anything like that. Brawl King says, don't say TikTok, it's disgraceful. I just don't get that. And Liam Grogan says Facebook is dead. And I want to do that one from Deji. He says, films to watch. I need a film to watch. What have I watched over the lockdown? I haven't watched many films. Come on, Union Berlin. That's gone for a throw-in. I haven't watched many films over the lockdown because I've been watching TV series like I watched Gangs of London. I enjoyed that. I don't know whether people liked that. I've watched Last Kingdom, Ozark, Last Dance. I've watched a lot of TV series, but some films that I've watched that I've really enjoyed that I would recommend. I can't remember the name of either of them. I'm going to have to go on my phone for this. Knives Out with Daniel Craig. I really enjoyed that. And what was the one by Guy Ritchie? The Gentleman. That was good as well. So I'd recommend those 2. Afterlife I've watched as well. So any good films that are coming out at the moment. I need to watch Ford versus Ferrari or whatever it is. But yeah, any good recommendations, let them know. Money Heist is Elite. See, that's a series though, isn't it? Well, there's a chance for Union Berlin to whip across in here. I am going to watch a bit of basketball when it comes back, Tom Duggan, and I don't think I'm going to be the only one. I've seen Over the Top with Stallone. I watched it last year, Andy. Classic. I mean, it's not as good as I remember it from the 80s, but it was well worth a watch again. It's about arm wrestling. Oh, I thought I was going to flick in. By the looks of it, I think Union Berlin, their ground is mainly all stander then. Ding, 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 ding. I need a really good sports documentary to watch after the after Last Dance. Actually, I really enjoyed that. I've seen 1917, Jordan. Well, Union Berlin have had a little bit of the ball here, which is a good thing. OJL Game says, I'm loving career mode. I think Extraction looks a little bit shit, to be honest, Tilawoos, to be honest. Thanks for the super chat, Jester's Vengeance. He says Wind River. Yeah, please do super chats if you can. It's easier for me to read out. Wind River. Let's have a look. I've seen this. It's brilliant. Wind River's absolutely brilliant. Watch Wind River. I loved it. Yeah, I got that as a recommendation on Twitter. It's a brilliant film. Jeremy Renner is in it, isn't he? Yeah, watch Wind River. Absolutely superb. I've seen Hello High Water. That's good as well, Sean. Very good recommendations there from one of our members who's got a nice red badge now because you've been a member for 2 months, Sean. You see your badge changes every month. I like the red one. That looks good. There's a Juventus documentary on Netflix as well. Is Dortmund Bayern are in again? Cut back. Get rid. Get out. Get it out. Who's your top 5 Premier League managers right now? Says Michael Rivera. Thanks for the super chat, Michael. I would say that the top 5 managers in the Premier League at the moment are Klopp, Pep, I've really broken the mould there, haven't I? Klopp and Pep, and then I'm struggling. I think you've got to put Brendan Rodgers in there. I think Klopp and Pep, I'd put it in the order of Klopp and Pep. Klopp's better. The next 3, I'm not necessarily going to put them in order. I would say Brendan Rodgers, Chris Wheeler at Sheffield United, and then you've got an argument. I think there's an argument then. Chelsea fans will say Lampard because we're 4th. United fans will say Ollie. I don't think Ollie's in the top 5 at the moment, and I don't think he'd put himself in the top 5. You could start talking about people like Sean Dyche. You could. Carlo Ancelotti says Vandy Candy. Well, I'm enjoying this game at the moment because it's staying as it is. The U Part 1 and 2 and Vic are great sports documentaries, says Don Snaps. What are they about? The U. Connor says Klopp, Mourinho, Pep, Ancelotti and Wilder. I've called him Wheeler, haven't I? I meant Wilder. You know what I meant. Yaza, interesting point, says Union Berlin Stadium is 90% standing and actually it was built by the fans. What's my take on Nuno at Wolves? I mean, he's done a good job. I don't really like his brand of football. It's a bit like Ollie's. You know, sit back, soak up the pressure and hit teams on the break. So we've had half an hour in this game. Bayern Munich have gradually got a little bit better than Union Berlin, but I'll tell you what this game needs. It needs a goal for Hertha Berlin. It doesn't. It needs a goal for Union Berlin, because that's who you're playing, not Hertha Berlin. I don't know what's happening with Newcastle's takeover at the moment, Dylan writes. I think it's due to happen, but I don't know. Here's something for you. I'm just seeing it on the United Stand website. This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Let me just get the article. Matt Le Tissier has been voted the best player in Premier League history. Craziness reigns here. This is absolutely crazy. I'm going to tweet it in case people want to read it. So, let me read this out to you. It's on the United Stand website. Matt Le Tissier beats Ryan Giggs and Cristiano Ronaldo to be named the greatest ever Premier League player. When you think about the greatest ever player, it's not hard to think about Giggs, Cantona, Henry. So when Eurosport held a recent vote to decide on the greatest ever Premier League player, you'd have thought it'd be one of those. No, it turned out to be Matt Le Tissier. Now, there's nothing wrong with Le Tissier. He was a fantastic player for Southampton and a great penalty taker. But when he beats Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the greatest players of all time, in the first round of their vote, something ain't right. He also then went on to... So it was like a head-to-head team thing. I don't know whether you can see it on the screen there. Like, it's a head-to-head tournament that they did on Eurosport. He beat Ronaldo, Rio Ferdinand and Thierry Henry to win it. Eurosport readers clearly see something else. Mad. Absolute mad. Absolutely crazy. Who was voting? Stevie Wonder. Exactly, Peter. Exactly. They are about the downfall of Michael Vick and a major multi-championship college football programme, says Don Snaps. Thanks for the super chat, pal. I wrote it down. You. The you. Hey, look, I'm old enough to remember Matt Le Tissier. He was a good player, but no way was he one of the best we've ever seen. I wouldn't even put him in the top 10 Premier League players. Aaron O'Neill's been ill for 10 weeks with an infection. Can you please wish me well? Well, I'm sure you'll get a lot of people wishing you well, Aaron. And anybody who's not well at the moment or in this difficult time, of course, we wish you all the best. And I hope that you are better soon, Aaron. I have been watching F1 Drive to Survive, Oliver Jordan, but it's sort of... I've probably put it on the back burner a little bit. I've got a couple of series at the moment that I've put on the back burner that I'm waiting for lockdown to be over because I want to watch them when Formula 1 comes back, if that makes sense. Anyway, we've got a drop ball here. 35 minutes have gone. Still 0-0, which for me, I'd love a draw in this game. Let's not forget that if Bayern Munich win, they'll continue to be 4 points ahead of Dortmund. If they draw, they're only 2 points ahead. As long as Bayern don't win, I think it's great for the Bundesliga title. They keep that 4-point gap, obviously, then they've got that breathing space. But if they drop points, long way to go before that happens. But Bayern have had 66% possession so far. But if they can get to half-time, I mean, look, this is a side that are mid-table, much closer to the relegation zone than even a race for top 4, Union Berlin. But if they can get something out of this game, it would be great. Don Snap says that Berlin are better than I thought. And just one shot on goal for Bayern, says Jemmy. They have had a goal disallowed. Let's not forget that. They did have a goal disallowed. Quite rightly. You know, there's no injustice to it. They do have... Will Hamza? It's one of the weirdest questions. Will Red Men TV and Being Blood Brothers? I don't know. The other lot won't be. And now I know why you're rooting for Berlin. Their possession stats must remind you of Manchester United, says Jester's Vengeance. Oh, you're so funny. You are. You're so funny. A good shout is irrelevant. I'm not reading that out. I've told you. Abuse will not get you read out. Well, we've got a player down injured here for Bayern Munich at the moment. Newcastle career mode, says DPZ. I am thinking of doing a Newcastle career mode next. This will be my last season with United. I've done 4 seasons on my FIFA career mode. Hopefully we're going to get to a Champions League final. We beat Liverpool in the home leg of the semi-final 1-0. It's still all to play for tomorrow in the second leg. But my plan is to win the Champions League and then retire. I didn't win the Premier League, which is a bit disappointing, but I am thinking of doing Newcastle if I can sort out the financial takeover on FIFA, which is a bit difficult, but I'll try it. A lot of people want me to do a player career as well, guys. I don't know how that works. Goretzka is overrated. When I watch Bayern, he's not in the game and not really involved, says Charles B. Thank you very much for the super chat. Yeah, we've got a 8 o'clock show on the United Stand tonight. Got Ricky and Adam on again. Tony Garner likes Goretzka, and Dylan says you're looking hot today, Mark. I did just go out for a run before. I need a bloody haircut. I'm going to get very hot this week. It's going to be hot in the UK this week. We've got a penalty coming in this game as well. Fresh trim. There we go. Bayern Munich with the penalty. I think it's harsh. I think it's a really harsh penalty. It's one of those where he's gone to swing at the ball and the player's come past. You know what? You know when you're going to get rid of the ball and then a player comes in? I think that's the harshest penalty I've seen. Really dodgy. He can't see him. He's kicking at the ball. That is a dodgy penalty. That is a really dodgy penalty, that is. No, there's not going to be any doubts there. Lewandowski's made it 1-0, but I think that's a right kick in the teeth. That is. They don't need that sort of look. Bayern Munich. They don't need that. It pisses me off. It's like FIFA. This is. They've got the better team. They don't need dodgy bloody penalty decisions like that. I mean, Lewandowski's never going to miss that penalty. Takes Bruno penalties like Bruno, but they don't need that. Like, they'll probably win that game anyway. They don't need soft, dodgy penalties. That referee, I don't even think it was a penalty. I really don't think it was a penalty. I mean, you've got to look at it and go, where's the intent? Where's the recklessness? He's swinging at a ball and he can't see the player coming. I don't think there's any contact there anyway. And if there is, it's a typical German bloody approach to just make a meal out of something. And you've got to applaud it. He's won a penalty for his team, but that's just soft. And what makes me laugh the most is the way that Union Berlin react to it. Like, if that was in the Premier League and that was like Leicester against Liverpool, Leicester would be up in arms around the referee. It was the way the Union Berlin players just accepted it. They were like, oh yeah, which means they've had years of this shit. They've had years of this Bayern Munich bias, and this is why they win the bloody league all the time, because they've got the best players, but they get all the bloody decisions their way as well. It's bloody frustrating, that is. But it's not a surprise, and I think Union Berlin are going to really struggle now. They've not offered enough going forward, and I think they will struggle, but it's a shame. It's a bloody shame that is the way that it's happened. Soft penalty. I feel sorry for Union Berlin. I think they've done quite well, and I just think when you're a defender and the ball's there and your eye's on the ball and you go to kick the ball and you don't know that someone with momentum is sprinting past in front of you as you go to kick it. You can't have eyes in the back of your head. I accept that, look, if he kicks him, the ref's got a right to give a penalty, but there's no common sense at all. There's no common sense, and I don't think there's enough contact. We'll see that at half time. Shout out to Daniel and Aaron. Thanks for the contribution, Aaron Hickson. And Dylan says that this, don't be surprised, Mark, this is why Bayern always win the league. I think Bayern have started to go up a level as well, I must admit that. But I do think that what really surprised me about that goal that penalty the most, was the lack of reaction from Union Berlin players. Like in the Premier League, as I said, we would expect to see people going, come on, ref. Because it's not a straightforward penalty. You can see why the ref's given it, but it's not an obvious penalty by any means. But the players just accepted it, and that just shows you what the Bundesliga is all about. But they're in again now. I can see Bayern Munich going on and winning this comfortably. Wavy says there is VAR, you scrub. It's the last comment you're going to make on here. But there is VAR, but how many times does VAR in the Premier League overrule the referee on penalties? Very rarely. They'll go with the referee on it. Especially if there's some contact, how can VAR not say it's a penalty? They're going to back the referee. Andrew Chow says, Mark, lovely weather today. Just looking ahead, if Prem goes ahead, would United Stand do fan cams from home, and could you be holding some of the interviews? Says Andrew Chow. So the plan with the United Stand is, if we get Premier League football back, we've discussed this a long time ago, so we're not revealing anything that's not known. If we get Premier League football back, there won't be fans in the ground. So what you'll get is Ricky, Adam, Saeed, Rance, Xander, and anybody else who wants to do a watch along from the normal set will just send in a 5 or 10 minute video of themselves at home giving their own individual fan cam that will then get uploaded. So it won't be outside the ground or interviews, it will just be them giving their match reaction. So that's how it'll work. Liverpool had a chance to sign David Silva in 2009, but they rejected him, says Michael Foley. I didn't know about that. Dell says, are you bored watching this? No. I'm clearly not bored because I'm pissed off. Favoritism. That's what it is. This is what's always put me off with the Bundesliga. It's always heavily weighted in Bayern's favour through their own wealth and also through match officials who just give bias towards Bayern because it's a one-horse town. We're nearly at 149,000 subscribers, by the way. We're only 70 away. So please subscribe if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. And if you've already subscribed, please click the share button if you want to click something as well. It's one-way traffic now, says Bereket. It is one-way traffic now. You wonder again, is it going the same way as the Dortmund game yesterday, where the fitness levels of Bayern are going to be up above those of Union Berlin? Reminiscent of the scripted penalty you suffered in the Champions League final, says Wilf. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing that back. Thanks for the super chat, Wilf. I'm looking forward to seeing that back at half time. Royal Mail X says, I'm all good. Just good to have football back and on a beautiful day as well. Back garden weather. Would you take Lewandowski at United for a couple of seasons? Says Jason Mills. I think only a fool wouldn't. He's a top world-class striker. I mean, that's what Lewandowski is. Tony Garner says it was a definite penalty. I need to see it again. And Mark, you should do a player career mode, says Renata. Has anybody actually done a FIFA player career mode? Because I haven't done a FIFA player career mode for years. And when I used to do it, I used to like the idea and the concept of it. But no matter how well I played, I'd get subbed after 60 minutes. And I was like, oh, this is just so frustrating. So I would hate to start something like that and then just say I'm packing it in. Daniel B says they get boring. Love Person says it's boring. Player career mode is crap, says Tom Duggan. It's not getting the love. Don't do a player career mode. You rarely get subs, says Oliver Jordan. Most people are saying it's absolutely crap, so there you go. I'm leaning towards a Newcastle Newcastle career mode next, with if I can sort out getting the financial takeover. I just don't know how you do it. I've got it, but I don't know how you get it on your career mode. I've done the R3 thing and I have got it, but I can't see how you get it on the career mode. Do Burnley. I think my next career mode needs to be something that's a bit challenging though, because I know people like it when I lose, and I think with United obviously I win a lot, but I'm probably going to have to give up the chance of winning the league, because if I do another career mode, we know what happens on career mode. Man City and Liverpool win every game. Ajmel says there's going to be Saudi Arabia versus Qatar beef in the Premier League. Please do a different league, says Gideon. This is all Bayern Munich at the moment. Side netting from Pavard. I think that's half time now. In fact, it is half time. So let's stop the clock and reset it for the second half. So 1-0 to Bayern Munich at half time. I'm looking forward to seeing the penalty. That's not a penalty as far as I'm concerned, but well, it is a penalty, but I think it's very soft. When City play Newcastle, would it be called the Abu Dhabi? Says Ethan Buchanan. Very good. Thanks for the super chat. And do a West Ham career mode. I've never warmed to West Ham, Tom Duggan, to be honest with you. Not enough to do a career mode with them. I think you've got to have a bit of warmth towards it. Bayern always cheats, says Khalid. And would you ever fancy getting Lewandowski? We just spoke about it, Patrick. I don't necessarily want him, but I think if we got him, you'd have to say he's world class. Who's the best midfielder in the world right now, says Jack Brady. I would say De Bruyne. Yeah, I'm always going to have a Premier League bias. I would say De Bruyne is the best. And top 5 midfielders in the Premier League right now, says Renato. What's your favourite food during lockdown, says Gantech. I've had fish and chips, homemade, lovely. I've had lasagna, I've had curry, I've had Chinese. Yeah, I've had lots of different food. Different moods for different foods. And Mönchengladbach career, says Ivan. Aston Villa career mode, says Rosie Smith. And Bundesliga career mode, says Malik. Press R3 for takeover on Pro PS4, says Mr. Tomato Soup. So basically, I've already pressed R3. I did it on the menu last week. So what do I do next? You know. Yeah, we are at half time. What are we feeling at half time in relation to the game then? Please subscribe if you're new, by the way. I'm trying to get us up to 149,000 today. I thought we'd be able to do it easy, but we're still a little bit short. We are still 70 subscribers short. So please share the video underneath the screen and subscribe bottom right hand corner. Let's see if we can get it up to 149,000. You can also check out the FIFA career mode from today. We had the Champions League semi-final first leg. I don't think I ever would do Pro Evo, by the way. A lot of people talking about that. I don't think I would do that. I don't. Lucas, interesting. He says, I refused to go out with my mates the other week, and it's a good job because now 7 out of the 9 families have now got coronavirus. Lucas, this is just before the stream. Actually, we went out for a little walk just round the corner, and there's a little duck pond there. And we normally just take some bread down for Seb to feed the ducks because he's only 2.5. And you normally go down there, and occasionally you'll see parents with their kid or something like that, and you wait for them to feed the ducks, and then you go and do it, or you go and stand in a different bit. We went round to where we feed the ducks today, and there was about 10 bikes, and then round the edge of the pond, about 20 lads just sat there drinking and having a laugh. Well, they're not brothers because they all look very different, and they'll all be from different families, and they're all just sat there having a laugh, being loud in the sun, etc. And look, somebody can say, well, phone the police. What's the point? What is the point in phoning the police? If they're idiots and their families, who may not even know they're doing it, it's already too late. What are the police going to do? You shouldn't be doing that, lads. Find them. They've already merged together as a big group, and then they're already going to go home to 10, 15, 20 different families. And they're going to be fine. They might be carrying it. They go home. They meet up. Somebody gets it. They spread it around all. They go home. They go to somebody who's vulnerable, and they die. And that's it. And you cannot get into the mentality of people with this, because there is always going to be a selfish element of, instead of playing a bit of FIFA with my mate, or instead of doing a Zoom call, or instead of doing a phone call, I know I'm going to go and sit and lie with him with our tops off in some weird sort of male bonding session where we all lie together for an hour, laugh at each other's crap jokes, and basically run the risk of infecting ourselves. Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll have a little cough, take it home, give it to everybody else, and somebody in our household who is vulnerable will die from it, and it's all because you lot did that. But you cannot get this into people's minds. I'm glad we didn't buy Boateng, says Matthew Gordon. I think he's bang average. I've never liked him. Even Scannell says they're the ones who would complain then if they got it, pure selfishness. Well, look, you know what? You can be 17 and die of it. You're going to be very unlucky. The odds of that happening are very, very low. But if one of them lot did die of it, their mum and dad would probably be getting onto the Metro or something like that saying, oh, well, he's just one of the unlucky ones. We can't believe it. And quite rightly, they're going to be really, really upset. But if they're not out doing that, they're not going to get it, are they? Or their chances of getting it are going to be very, very slim. If you go and lie around with your mates for an hour in close proximity, there's a very big chance that you're going to get it if one of them has got it. And people are running the risk now. And this is the attitude, certainly in the UK. But it's weird in the UK because you've got these headliners like Steve Bruce coming out saying, in relation to football, Project Restart may not happen because there's a lot of opposition to it. Well, I'll tell you what, Steve Bruce, pop down your local Tesco and see what people are doing. Look at your local park and see what people are doing. You can all say, we don't want to go back because we don't know whether it's safe. But nobody else is really giving a shit about safety, as I've just evidenced there, and every single one of you can evidence a story of people who are not taking this seriously. So you've got high-level conversations about, let's not reopen schools, let's not reopen hairdressers, let's not start playing football again. But then you've got reality where people are already mixing and don't give a shit. So something's going to come to a head somewhere, I think, and God knows what's going to happen. Suban says, is that duck pond near Aston? I've been there. Right, so Aston's probably about 20 miles away from me. And in the Birmingham area, there's probably about 5,000 duck ponds. So, yeah, you're thinking about a very specific duck pond. Mark, why don't you hire your hairdresser as a cleaner and get them to cut your hair? Says Pogba out. And people are very divided here in Sweden, says Wilmer. Well, Sweden have got your old carry on as normal thing, more or less, haven't you? The herd immunity. And why not bring the army out and make sure people stay inside? UK's weird, says Patrick. Well, I've always felt that was an option, and I just don't think our government actually really wants a lockdown. Anyway, let's have a look at this penalty incident. They're just about to show it back now. Cross comes in, he goes to clear it, and I mean, he has got to. Yeah, it is a penalty. It's just soft, and as per usual, the player has made a right bloody meal out of it. He nicks the ball and he hardly touches him. He's playing for the penalty, basically. So basically, he gets there a little bit ahead of it. The defender is going to swing his foot at a ball and that's all he's going to do. And he doesn't see the player coming running across, and the player jumps in front of him, nicks the ball away. There's minimal contact and goes down like he's been shot. That I don't think that penalty would have got given in the Premier League. I don't think it would. I think a Premier League ref, no matter how much stick they got, they would say that's simulation. There's a little bit of contact, but you've made a right meal out of that. It's not enough contact to go down, and that would not be a penalty in the Premier League. No way, because it's the minimalist bit of contact. And people, I always say, there's videos of me saying, well, look, he's got every right to go down, and he has. He's got every right to go down, but in the Premier League, I don't think that would be given. In fact, I've seen Anthony Martial against Burnley this season have a lot more contact than that, and they've said it's not enough contact to go down. There's been a few penalties like that in the Premier League this season that haven't been given, even when there's been contact, because they're saying there's not enough contact there. So, yeah. Even the offside for Muller's not been given off for the right offside. They've given it for the second one. Do I think a German team will win the Champions League soon, says Oliver Jordan? I think the favourites are Liverpool and Man City, to be honest. I think Premier League football is better than German football. Having said that, Bayern Munich have wiped the arse of Dortmund, of Spurs, and so have Leipzig, but Spurs aren't no great shakes this season. Vandy Candy says that Mane went flying against Leicester on a minimum contact free kick. It happens a lot in the Premier League. Vandy Candy, you're right. You are right. That was one where it was given, but about a week, I think they changed the rule after that, because within 2 weeks, Martial didn't get one against Burnley, and I think it was Son against Everton. Got absolutely clattered, and they said it wasn't enough to go down. So, different rules for different leagues. That would not have been a penalty in that. Liverpool are not going to win the Champions League because they're out, Rommel. Thanks for reminding me of that. That's what lockdown does to you. I think Man City are favourites then, yeah. But if someone could knock Man City... I mean, Man City cannot be allowed to win the Champions League. How can Man City win the Champions League when they're going to get banned from it? I find this ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous that you can win the Champions League when you're about to get banned from it. It's madness. Mark, Pepe also had one as well. Yeah, there's been a lot of these types of penalties that get given to Bayern but wouldn't get given in the Premier League. I'd argue that with anybody. It's not a penalty in the Premier League, and that's why I reacted so bad to it, because I was like, that's ridiculously soft. But we're watching a foreign league here, aren't we? We're judging it on our standards, and to me, I don't think that's a penalty. So we're approaching the second half. I'll get the timer up for you. There is an 8 o'clock show on the United Stand. I've got Ricky on tonight. So you can tune in for that. And Adam on as well. Yeah, don't forget about him. I saw 5 people shaking hands with dogs in the park with cigarettes, says Brawl King. Oh, we'll all have these stories, mate. We'll all have these stories. What do you think of Gary Neville comments saying Carlos Tevez down tools, says Dylan. You know what? There's some stories from the past that interest me, and there's some where I just go, I don't care. And I don't care about Tevez. I don't care about what Tevez did, because it's 12 years ago. And I know we're in lockdown, but we don't need to go down memory lane. Like, I'm not bothered. What's next? Ronaldo used to eat Pringles before every game. I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered about memory lane. I'm not bothered about Tevez. He went and won a bloody Premier League at Man City. If he down tools at United, wow. I don't like him anyway. So that's my honest answer to that. Tevez looks like a bruised foot, says Ben Moyle. And bar the banter, honest thoughts on Arsenal, says DOOAFC. So that's a good question, because he knows I like to banter Arsenal. But if you ask me an honest answer, I will give you the honest answer. What do I think of Arsenal? I didn't want you to sack Emery, and I think it's a bit like when rival fans didn't want United to sell Fellaini, or they didn't want us to sack Moyes. I didn't want you to sack Emery because I knew you were never going to improve under him. And Arteta, I think with Arteta, he's got a massive job on at Arsenal. He needs money, he needs to get rid of the deadwood, and he needs patience, and he needs to buy well. In many ways, it's like Ollie. But what I would say about Arteta is, Ollie got relegated by Cardiff and did quite well with Mulder. He doesn't really have a footballing CV, so we don't really know what to expect. Arteta spent a lot of time with Man City, with Pep. Now that doesn't mean he's going to be a good manager, because I can name you lots of assistant managers who fail, but I think if Arteta gets money, which there's no guarantee, gets rid of Deadwood, which there's no guarantee, buys right, which there's no guarantee, and there is patience, which there's no guarantee, he could do well. But there's so many question marks there. But I certainly think you're better off with Arteta than you did with Emery. But, I know the Arsenal lads. You know the Arsenal lads. I don't think that patience is... a year ago, United fans were like, Ollie's at the wheel, give him 5 years. At Christmas, after we lost to Burnley, a lot of people wanted him to go, myself included. So, you can say, we're going to give him time because he used to play for the club and we like what he's going to do. You have a bad run of games and he'll be gone. The patience will disappear. And also, as Pogba out says, lack of threat. Lacazette, I like that. Let's call him lack of threat. What's going to happen with Aubameyang? Because to me, looks like he's going to go. And if he goes, then what do you do? AD Garner said, see, now I'm going to get honest opinion on everything now. They've got me now. Honest opinion on Chelsea. I think that with Chelsea, they are... I think Chelsea, you've already had a year. If I was a Chelsea fan, I would like the way you play football. That's encouraging. Even from a United fan, I like the way you play football. I think that you've got some good young players in the team who will get better for the games that they're playing. The Mounts, the Abrahams, the Tomoris, the Gilmores. And you should have some money to spend. And if that is spent... So I think with Lampard, he's going to play the right style. He's bringing you through. He's getting patience. He's got to buy well, Lampard. That's what he's got to do. And they've got to improve from this point. So I think for Lampard, it's about buying well and improving from what they've done here. Mark, what is the Prem's plan for teams who have players out of contract on July the 1st and won't sign a short-term contract? What players coming in July the 1st, suggested Avengers? I don't know, mate. I actually don't know what the Premier League's plan is with that. So we'll wait and see. Premier League's Bayern versus Union Berlin is just about to kick off second half. Can Union Berlin get back into this game? I hope so. But... the referee, for me, has given a very soft penalty, and I've got to be honest, I don't like that side of the Bundesliga straight away. That's something I don't like. I never thought I would say this, but the Premier League referees look very good compared to this prat. It's a soft penalty, and it's ruined the first half for me. Have you ever been to Galway? Says Mock. Yes, I have been to Galway. It was if I remember Galway right, you go off the harbour and then you go down this sort of alleyway where they've got pubs either side, and it's just really busy. And we're off, second half. Let's go. Lewandowski's better than Haaland at the moment. Yeah, definitely. Aaron says, thanks everyone for all the nice support and questions. There you go. Aaron Butner says that Bayern have won more Champions Leagues and won more recently than your tin pot joke of a club from Manchester. But mate, you win everything because you play in a league that you bully everybody in. Like, you basically would be like Manchester United if Manchester United could say, we're having your best players Liverpool, we're having your best players Chelsea, we're having your best players Man City. That's why you win everything. You play in a pub league every bloody week. Because the Bundesliga is good, apart from Bayern Munich, who just hoover up all the talent and win the league every year. I mean, haven't Bayern Munich won the title 55 times out of the last 50 years? It's just ridiculous. And, you know, you think that's you think you're Billy Big Bollocks because of it. But actually, it's just... the Bundesliga for Bayern Munich is FIFA on cheat code. And then, of course, you're going to do well in the Champions League because you've got all the best players in your league, and you can have the week off before you play because there's no competition in March. You know, in the Premier League, when we won the Champions League in '99, we had Arsenal fighting us, one of the best Arsenal sides, fighting us for the title right up until the last day in May. We also had an FA Cup that we had to battle for, and then we beat you in the Champions League final. So the '99 Champions League United side absolutely did you over. And there is this myth about the '99 Champions League final that Bayern were the better team and we robbed them. I've watched that final twice in the last year. Beckham was the man of the match. Bayern played shit and we played better than them and we deserved to win it anyway. It would have been an injustice if we hadn't won it. So I hope you're back in your box now, you Bayern fan, because I would hate to be a Bayern Munich fan. I would absolutely hate it because you just win your league on cheat code every year. Oh, look, Dortmund pushed... I mean, that's exactly what they did. Dortmund pushed them close. In fact, I think Dortmund actually did win the Bundesliga. What did Bayern Munich do? Go and buy a couple of Dortmund players. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. Come on, Union Berlin. They've got no chance. In fact, if Union Berlin were winning 2-0 at half-time, Bayern Munich at half-time would probably go and buy 3 of their best players to put on their team for the second half. And the referee would probably allow it. And yeah, the French league's exactly the same, to be fair to Bayern. PSG do exactly the same in their league. And Real Madrid and Barcelona do it in their league as well. The Premier League is the best league in the world because we haven't got a team that can hoover up everybody's talent. Yeah, Man City are rich, but they're never going to get United players. United have been rich, but will never get Liverpool or City players. So yeah, the Premier League, for all its problems, you'll never get a team who can just hoover up all the talent and dominate the league. You will get a team that wins the league and deserves to win the league, but they can't do it like Bayern every year. I'll tell you what, if Dortmund won the league this year, Bayern would buy 3 of their players in the summer, so it won't happen again. It is financial bullying, and that's what Bayern do. Good chance for Bayern there, though. They've had another shot. I think it's Goretzka this time, isn't it? Yeah. Just wide. Bellingham swap deal for Lingard, somebody just said. I don't think Birmingham would even want Lingard now. They would do. Lingard wouldn't go to Birmingham though, would he? Come for the football, stay for the Bayern slander. Love it, says Wilf. Well, I'm just saying it what I think. I think Bayern Munich must be one of the most boring teams in the world to support. It's right up there with Celtic, you know, like, and it's not that's not Celtic's fault. That's because Rangers got bloody relegated for 3 seasons, didn't they? And it's taken them so long to get back, and they got financially crippled. But the Scottish League, since Sir Alex Ferguson left Aberdeen, has always been Celtic or Rangers. But then when Rangers got into trouble and got bloody docked. Relegated 3 times, Celtic just win it every year. I know loads of Celtic fans and they're like, we really hate Rangers, but we really want Rangers to get back because it's just boring. We win the league every year, and it's great supporting your team when you're winning things, but there's also an emptiness to it because you know that you're doing it for the reasons that you're just financially dominant and there's nobody anywhere near you. Subhan's right. Bayern basically play FIFA on semi-pro. Actually amateur. Yeah. Zaki says, are you comparing Celtic to Bayern? I just did, mate, and I just explained it on the basis that it's not Celtic's fault. Celtic are in a league where they are financially way ahead of anybody else, and they haven't had Rangers in the league for a while, and Rangers are taking their time to get back. I think in a couple of years the Scottish League will get back to how it was, but Celtic are the financial dominant force in the Scottish Premier League. How far do you think Leicester will go in the Champions League? Says Narian. Well, look, I don't think it's going to happen, but you can remember this if it does. I'm not convinced Leicester will get top four. I'd be very hard for them if they didn't get top four, because they probably deserve it, having been there. Well, no, they don't deserve it, do they? If you don't get it, you don't get it. But I think Leicester, since Christmas, their form has been a little bit dodgy. And it does coincide with Ndidi being injured, but I'm not convinced that Leicester will maintain top four. Their running is quite difficult. They've got to play United, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Spurs. I think United's only real tough game is Spurs. So I think that Leicester could drop out of the top four. If they don't drop out of the top four, then what do I think they do in the Champions League? Not a lot, but. Do I think Scottish teams should play in the Championship? I don't think they'd be good enough, mate. I don't. I don't think. I think if Celtic played in the Premier League, they would stay up. But I think if a lot of Scottish Premier League sides played in the Championship, they might find themselves in League One. I don't think it would be like people think. I think in the late 80s and 90s, a lot of them would have played in the Premier League, but I think there's been a drop off in Scottish football. Like, Scottish football was actually a good standard in the 80s and 90s. Now it's had a bad drop off for 20 years. Like, Celtic are nowhere near as good. I mean, Celtic and Rangers in the Champions League, they weren't massive underdogs. They'd be a team that you'd think, you'd expect them to maybe get out of their group. Gabriel says, who are the three biggest clubs in the world? Well, I mean, that debate's going to run and run, mate. I mean, Manchester United are one of the biggest clubs in the world, definitely. Barcelona and Real Madrid are big clubs. Juventus are a big club. Liverpool are a big club. It's them, really. I don't think PSG are a big club. Apparently PSG are a big club, but I don't think they are a big club. I mean, PSG are only a big club because of money. PSG were not a big club. Like, when I was growing up, I remember George Weah playing for PSG, but I don't think they were a great team then. It was always like Monaco have always been a decent club. Marseille, I don't know what's happened to Marseille. They were a big club when I was growing up. But Bayern are a big club. Yeah, Lace, you're right. Bayern are a big club. Bayern Munich are a big club. But the three biggest are United, Real Madrid and Barcelona. Arsenal are not a big club, Zakel. Not in the sense of what we're talking about. Good chance there for Bayern. They've just cleared it out for a corner. Union Berlin headed back by Lewandowski's put it out for a corner. I think when you're talking about a big club, you're talking fan base, you're talking revenue. Unfortunately, you are talking history. I mean, Manchester United, if you're just talking about form on the pitch, we're not a big club at the moment. But everyone knows we're one of the biggest clubs in the world because, history, revenue, fan base dictate a massive part of that. AC Milan are a big club as well. Ooh, just headed wide there from Pavard. Still in there, Union Berlin, but they're not offering anywhere near enough what they need to do. They're you feel that as soon as that second goal goes in, this game is over. Do you need to be? Do you have to have won a Champions League to be a big club? I think you do. I like that. I like that as a statement as well. I don't think it really probably. Yeah, no. I think you've got to win a Champions League or a European Cup to be a big club. Celtic are a very big club worldwide. Let's not forget Celtic are a big club, and they've won a European Cup. Man City aren't a big club. Arsenal, no. And they've not won European Cups. But I don't think just because you've won a European club, you're a big cup. You're a big club, because Aston Villa have won a European Cup, and whilst they're quite a big club, they're not massive, are they? Leeds have never won a European Cup. Anna says, I can't believe you're saying Celtic are a bigger club than Arsenal. Well, yes and no, because it depends what your parameters are. I think that a big club is fan base, definitely. I wouldn't be surprised if Celtic's got a bigger fan base than Arsenal, but maybe not now because of the popularity of the Premier League. Revenue, I would say Arsenal have got bigger revenue than Celtic, to be fair. History, well, Celtic have got a better history, I would say, because they can only do what they do in the league that they play in, and they've won a European Cup. So look, I'd say Arsenal probably are a bigger club than Celtic, but a lot of that is because they're in the Premier League and the revenue and exposure that brings to them. Nottingham Forest have won the European Cup twice. Not once, they've won it twice. They're not a big club though. Luke has a good question here, and it doesn't have to be United specific. Who would you want at your club? Who would you want at your club? Haaland or Lewandowski? Doesn't have to be United. Can be any club you support. Could be Chelsea, Liverpool, whatever. Who would you prefer out of Lewandowski or Haaland? I think a lot of people are saying Haaland. The vast majority are saying Haaland. I would say Haaland just because of age. I think Lewandowski's a better striker, but the age factor of Haaland is, everyone wants a young player that's going to be at their club for 10 years, and I think if you got Haaland, you would hope that would be the case. It would not be the case because Mino Raiola's his agent. He would only stay. In fact, you'd probably get Lewandowski at your club longer than you would Haaland, because Haaland would be gone in 3 years. So actually, that longevity is probably not such a good thing. Actually, the clever answer is Lewandowski, because he's already world class and he'd stay at your club longer, wouldn't he? Ethan says there's something not right about Haaland. I mean, I like Haaland. I just think he's being... Just judge Haaland on the pitch is what I would say, because on the pitch he's very good. Off the pitch he's being coached into something that he's not natural with. Like, he's been told to start being a knobhead in interviews to get an aura of arrogance around him because it will help with branding. Mino Raiola's basically trying to turn him into Zlatan off the pitch with these one-word answers and arrogance, and it comes across as awkward and rude. And he will adjust to it, because the more he does it, the more natural it will become. But the problem with it at the moment is that it's unnatural because it's not actually what he's like. He's never been like that. But they're trying to build a brand off the pitch. So I judge Haaland on the pitch. I think he's very, very talented. But some of the stuff he's doing off the pitch is a bit weird. It's just like being rude to commentators and just being awkward. But it's all about building this arrogant persona. There's a yellow card here, is there? Well, I personally thought that they were both good tackles there, but referees... Another example of bad refereeing. Bias towards Bayern Munich there. They were both fair tackles, a bit strong, and he gives a free kick. Luke Dragonflame says, who's going to be better, Greenwood or Haaland? I mean, look, I'm not going to be a total idiot. I think at the moment, you're just predicting that Greenwood will be better. I think at the moment, everyone who says Haaland is right. But I tweeted it last night. I think Greenwood will be better than Haaland. Because I've seen a lot of Greenwood. And I know Greenwood's the better footballer. He's got the better technique. He's better off both feet. He's about 2 or 3 years younger as well. So I think Greenwood will be better. But what I won't argue with people who say Haaland, because Haaland's career, as much as I don't like Mino Raiola, his career has been mapped out perfectly. Mulder, Salzburg, Dortmund. Next move is going to be a massive club as well. Everywhere he goes, he'll go straight into the team, because that's the whole point of that's why he went to Salzburg instead of going to a Premier League club, because they wanted him to play first team football. That's why he went to Dortmund over United, because they wanted him to play first team football. So the way they've mapped out Haaland's career might mean that he has a better career than Greenwood, because Greenwood might stay at United but never be first choice, even though he's good enough. Who do you see becoming a legend, Gnabry or Sancho? Says Paddy of Cakes. I don't know how old Gnabry is. Let's have a look. That's the factor for me. I mean, he 24. So Jadon Sancho's 4 years younger. Come on, Union Berlin. They've just put a cross into the box. Yeah, I think Sancho will be better than Gnabry. I mean, Gnabry's playing in a team that is very good, but I think Jadon Sancho's got the better potential. Would I take Gnabry at United, Dylan? At this moment in time, yes. Yes, I would. Because we need a winger like that. But once we've got Sancho, I probably wouldn't. Bayern are pushing here for a second. What time do you go to sleep, MUFC says? Too late at the moment. Before lockdown, I would sort of start dropping off around 11, half 11. Since lockdown, I don't know why. I bet a lot of people are in that mentality. Sometimes I'm not going to bed till like half midnight. Burgerman with the troll comment says Greenwood's not even that good. United fans overrate him. Mate, I'm not even going to reply. I've read your comment out. Let everyone else in the live comments go, because it's just a troll comment. It's not. You're not even right, because to say that, you've not even watched him. So I'm not even going to answer. Luke says, do you not get drained doing 2 or 3 videos a day? Yeah, it is very tiring. Yeah. So today, 11 o'clock, I did the transfer news show on the United Stand live for half an hour. Then at 2:30, I did FIFA career mode for an hour and a bit. Then at 5 o'clock, I've done 2 hours of watch along. And then 8 o'clock, I'll do the 8 o'clock show. So it's too much. It is too much. And it is, I'm not going to lie, it's very tiring, especially when the lights are on you. But it's not every day, is it? And the thing is with this is the whole point of this channel is I tend to do watch-alongs of games I was going to watch. I would have watched this game and then I would have been like, that's not a bloody penalty, and I'm talking to the wall. So it serves a purpose for me to do a watch-along when I'm watching a game like this, because I would watch it anyway, and that's what I do on this channel. So yeah, it is very tiring. It is very tiring, but I do enjoy doing it as well. Do you see Sancho playing his whole career on the wing, or can you see him developing into a number 10 in the future? Well, a lot of wingers do that. A lot of wingers do that. So never say never. Would you take any of Bayern's midfielders at United, says Henry E. I think Goretzka would do very well in the Premier League. And thanks for the Sancho. Thanks for the super chat, Paddy of Cakes. I think Goretzka would do well in the Premier League, and United were looking at him, and so were Liverpool. I think that Thiago would do well. Bit injury prone, but I do think he would do well. Kimmich, I think, would do very well as a CDM, and Abdul's just said that. So yeah, I think they'd all do well. Look, what I said about Bayern Munich a few minutes ago, hoovering up talent and winning it on cheat mode, that's very, very true, but it doesn't mean that they haven't got fantastic players. That's the whole point. They just buy all the best players, in Germany especially. So, and they then buy players around Europe as well as that. Thiago from Barcelona. They not only do they buy the best players in Germany, they've also got the financial muscle to go out and buy decent players from around the world. So yeah, they've got very, very good players, Bayern Munich. I mean, there's probably about 7 players in that team straight away you'd say I'd take him. I mean, even Pavard would probably be quite good. I wouldn't take Jerome Boateng. I don't rate him. United were linked to him. I don't rate him. Please subscribe if you're new. We're getting so close to 149,000. We're only 40 away. Bottom right hand corner. Please subscribe if you're new. What's happened to that centre back, Sule? Is he injured or what? Sule. Man of the match so far, Luke. He's injured. Thanks, Kanta. Yeah, he's injured. ACL injury. Not nice, is it? Corner for Union Berlin here. Easy catch for Niort. Man of the match. Well, I think Muller's played quite well. Goretzka's played quite well. Thiago's played well as well, yeah. I mean, they've ran the game, haven't they? That's what they've done without creating loads of chances. What was your first computer game, says Anne3? I think my first computer console was that I owned. My first games console was a Sega Mega Drive, and I know the first game that came with that was Altered Beast. Rise from your grave. That's what it was called. I hated it. It was the only game I had. It came with Altered Beast. And then... But I think I got it for Christmas, and then I got a load of games with it. And I remember this was a crack. This was classic. This was. So I don't know how I pulled this off. This was brilliant. So I got a Sega Mega Drive for Christmas, right? And it was going to be my Sega Mega Drive. Yeah, I wasn't sharing it. So I got a Sega Mega Drive for Christmas, and the games then were probably the equivalent of, well, they were about 30 quid a game then. So with inflation, they were probably about 70, 80 quid now. So got a Sega Mega Drive for Christmas, and it was always like, what do you want for Christmas from all your aunties and uncles and everything? And I figured out quite quickly that there was a lot of computer games that I wanted, and I couldn't get them all. So I wanted World Cup Italia 90. And I wanted PJ Golf, and for some reason I wanted John Madden's American Football. I don't know why. Everyone said it was good, so that was my 3 games from like grands, parents, and everyone else to go with it. But then I pulled an absolute masterstroke, because I said to my sister, "Why don't you get some games for the PlayStation?" And she was like, "Well, it's not mine." I said, "Yeah, but I'll let you play on it." And the best thing is, I got her to get Fantasia, which was a load of shit that I never wanted to play. But I also got her to get Sonic the Hedgehog. And the best one of the lot was Super Monaco Grand Prix. She was only about 6. Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Of course, I never let her play on the Mega Drive. So I ended up getting 6 computer games and a Mega Drive for Christmas. And because my sister got 3. And she didn't even like Formula 1. And she went and got Super Monaco Grand Prix. I wanted Sonic and I wanted Super Monaco, and I let her get Fantasia, but they were all her bloody presents anyway. Sorry if someone asked already, but will the quiz be put up? I was only able to watch the first half of it. No, Michael Sorter, there's a problem with it on YouTube, so if you want to watch it, it's on our Facebook page. I'm sure it was called Super Monaco GP. Let me just double check. Basically, it's the equivalent of what Formula 1 is now. But I'm sure it was called Super Monaco GP. It wasn't just about, you didn't just race Monaco, you raced all of it. Yeah, it's here. I've got a picture of the, yeah. That's it. That's the one I had. Super Monaco GP is a Formula 1 racing simulation game released by Sega as an arcade game in 1989. Maybe I had Super Monaco GP too. Yeah, the graphics, you felt that the graphics were brilliant, and they were absolutely crap. I don't know whether you can see it on the screen there. Yeah, they're absolutely shit compared to today. But, yeah, I enjoyed that. All single mothers came defending Harvey Price as LD. And does my wife watch football? Only if it's like the Euros or the World Cup. Yeah, she won't watch like domestic football. Luke says, do you remember the good old soccer box days? I'm sure Gary Neville stole that too. Well, I don't think Gary Neville thought of the name of it at all for a start. But yeah, the United Stand used to be called Soccer Box for about 6 months before we changed it to the United Stand. And it did make me laugh when Gary Neville, Sky Sports, started doing a show with Gary Neville called Soccer Box. I'd say it's probably just a coincidence. I mean, it would be weird if they'd heard of that show and thought, let's nick that name. I know, we got rid of the name. I hated the name because soccer is not what I call football. I like, football. So Ian Wright or Andy Cole? Andy Cole for me, Brentley. It's like Arsenal versus United, isn't it? So Ian Wright was a very good striker, but I think Andy Cole was better. What happened to Alex? Nothing. He just didn't. He couldn't do it anymore. I think he got a job. I mean, it's a long time ago, that is. And I never played Crash Bandicoot, Robert. I know what it is, but I never played it. Doob FC says that Arsenal and United are the most influential clubs in England. Well, I think you got one right. This is going to be so annoying if Bayern Munich win it because of a soft penalty. I mean, come on. 15 minutes to go. If they win this because of a soft penalty, it's a disgrace, isn't it? Apparently, Ian Wright never scored against United, says Bereket. What's the next football to come back anyway? I know we've got Bundesliga at the moment, but what's the next football to come back? I think Serie A. I've not heard about Serie A. I've heard that Serie A's June the 13th. I think the Premier League will come back on the 20th, maybe the 27th. La Liga, I haven't even heard about La Liga. League One's definitely not coming back, the McSpice. They've cancelled that. Hey Mark, once this is all, have you thought about doing a fan meetup event for the neutral fans, London based by the way, says Paddy. Well, we had one in Dublin that was meant to happen on April the 2nd. It was booked. The pub was booked. The tickets were out because it was a free ticket event, and we had to cancel it. So we will get Dublin done as soon as we can. Mick says June the 26th for the Prem. Portugal's back soon, says MUFC. The Office or the In-Betweeners, JP? Easy. Absolutely easy. The Office. Well, Union Berlin have had a bit of the ball here, but I'm hoping Bayern Munich just get tired and sit back a bit. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? And then Union Berlin let nick a goal. Mark, the UK office or the US office, as Yai said. Oh, well, I'll tell you what. They should have scored there. Cross came in from Alphonso Davies and Serge Gnabry. I don't know how close he was to this. He started the move. He plays it out wide to Alphonso Davies, continues his run. The cross comes in. He just can't get there quick enough. Would have been a very good goal. How tall am I? I don't like answering this question because it caused a load of uproar on Twitter the other day. Somebody asked how tall I was, and I said 6 foot. Just over 6 foot. I've always just been just over 6 foot. You can say 6 foot, 6'1", whatever. I've always been over 6 foot. And I might have shrunk a little bit because that happens when you get older. But I've been 6 foot since I was about 13, 14. Because my granddad, rest in peace, said to me, I used to play on the wing and he loved football. And he said, you can't play on the wing because you're going to be about 6'4". Because I grew a lot until I was about 13. So I changed my game and became a midfielder and a centre-back. But I didn't grow anymore after 13, 14. I just stayed at 6 foot. So I'm just over 6 foot. But I put this on Twitter the other day in answer to a question. And people were going mad. No fucking way is he 6 foot. No fucking... And I'm like, hold on a minute. I'm here telling you I'm 6 foot. And I know me. And I've known me for over 3 decades. So I know I'm 6 foot. You've got somebody on Twitter who doesn't even know me. Of more than one saying, no fucking way is he 6 foot. And you're like... So it always seems to cause a problem. I don't know why people... People obviously have an inferiority complex if you say you're 6 foot. I've never had this in my life. Yeah, no, he ain't 6 foot. I think they want me to be about the size of Ronnie Corbett when he was alive. Not now. He's only about that tall now because he's lying down. But I think people want me to be about 5'6", so they can imagine in real life if they meet me, they can pick on me. But you can still pick on me. I'm just 6 foot. That's a fact. Bayern, I can't believe, haven't scored there. They've had another chance, another good save by the goalkeeper. Let's have a look how we're doing for subscribers. 20 away now. We're 20 away from 149,000. Please subscribe if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. About 10 minutes to go. I don't know how tall Robbie is, Slayer from AFTV. I've met him loads of times, but I don't know whether he's... I think he's a bit smaller than me, but I might be imagining that wrong, because there are people that are taller than me, but I don't think they are taller than me. I think me and Flex are about the same height. Thanks, Alvin Blocks. There you go. Surprised he didn't give a bloody penalty for that. A shoulder barge in the box on Pavard. And it's 2-0 to Bayern then. That's it. Pavard has scored now from the corner. I was just looking back at the replay of whether it should have been a penalty to him. But it is 2-0 now. Cross comes in. Pavard heads it home from the corner. And that will put the game to bed. He's well happy. Some high fives. 10 minutes to go. Vandy Candy says, no leather goal, no party. It's a good goal, to be fair. Cross comes in. He's up there with 3 players. Bad defending. He's got 3 Union Berlin players around him. 1 in front, 1 behind, and it lands perfectly on his head. In fact, yeah, that's a terrible goal to concede. There's 3 of them. He should not get his head on that. Fair play to him, but there's 3 Union Berlin players around him there. That should not be a goal. But it is a goal, and it's 2-0, and that will be the end of the game, I would say. Without a shadow of a doubt. So please subscribe to the channel if you're new. I've got me curry to come. If you're on if you are fasting, I know for a fact that tonight you can't eat till 8 minutes past 9. How do I know that? Because I spoke to Saeed about coming on the show tonight. And he told me he can't eat till 8 minutes past 9. Because obviously it goes back by daylight hours, doesn't it? So it's the summer, so we are getting more and more light each night. Mike says, I've got a bad feeling we won't get Sancho this summer. See, Mike, see what I did there? Didn't fall for your little trick. I haven't had a haircut. I do need a haircut. I haven't had a haircut yet. We are live at 8 o'clock on the United Stand. Yes, we've got Ricky and Adam on tonight. I always like the Sunday night show because we always have a little bit of a debate point. I think what we might do tonight, unless anyone's got any suggestions, last couple of weeks we've ranked Manchester United signings over the last 6 years. I think 3 weeks ago we did what players in the current squad are good enough to be in a title-winning squad. So if you've got any ideas, I was thinking about going through players and saying, are they a club legend or not? But it's very subjective, so I'll have to think about something else. My Instagram post has had loads of likes on it. I don't even know what. You know, sometimes you put a picture on there, it does okay. Today's one has done massive likes. We've had nearly 7,000 likes on it. And all it is me cutting hair. Cutting Sebi's hair. In an untidy kitchen. Crazy. Got nearly 50,000 followers on Instagram. I don't really understand Instagram, so I'm quite proud of that. Well, I'm wrong with my score prediction unless Bayern Munich go and get another couple. I said 4-0. But Bayern Munich will maintain their 4-point lead at the start. That they had at the start. Which is a shame. We need them to drop some points, really. We don't want them to win the league. Well, I don't. But they will. Bayern Munich are going to win the league for the 100th time in the last 100 years. What the hell have I done wrong there then? Union Berlin versus Bayern Munich. Yeah, don't know what that's all about. Life, oh life, oh life, oh life, do 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 do. I know. What's the worst haircut you've had? I've already done it, Dan. I don't like to repeat. It's not UK Gold. Who was your favourite wrestler growing up? Bret the Hitman Hart and Shawn Michaels. Thanks for that one from Blitz B. Who scored penalty for Lewandowski and Pavard with a header from a corner? I don't understand why Hernandez isn't playing, says David. And what are you cooking next week? Pizza, George. And he says the curry was banging. It looked banging. It is. I'm going to go and finish. I've still got some more left. I'm going to go and warm it up for my tea. I love it. It's lovely. It's a fantastic curry, that is. Josh Healy says, I don't like curry, me. You could make, Alvin, you could make it a vegetarian curry, easy. So Bayern Munich will be top with 58 points. Dortmund will be second with 54 points. And I mean, this tells you, this is going to tell you right now how dominant Bayern Munich are in the Bundesliga. They've played 20-something games and their goal difference is 49. 49. They batter everybody every week. Vandy Candy's having a spinach curry tonight. I don't know when I'm going to do going for Goldbridge next, but I will do it. I just don't know when I'm going to do it next. That was a nice shot over the bar, just over the bar. Do. The second leg of the Liverpool game, FIFA Career Mode, will be tomorrow afternoon at 3:30, if anybody is interested in that. And if you want to watch this afternoon's episode, that's on the homepage right now. Thanks everyone who has tuned in for this one, by the way. Just want to say it's nice to have some watch-alongs back, and I've enjoyed all your chats. We do it a little bit differently, as people know who become subscribers of this channel. I know there's a lot of watch-alongs out there, but we do it a little bit differently until people start copying what we do, which is interacting with you lot, talking about lots of different things. So I hope you've had a good stream as well. We are going to be live at 8 o'clock on the United Stand, of course. Got Ricky and Adam joining us, and all the latest Manchester United news, which you could have got this morning. There will be some new news now. I don't know what it is yet because I haven't even titled the show up. But yes, Bayern have won. Yes, and Bayern are looking like they will win the Bundesliga, unfortunately. But it's only game one of a few that have got to come back. We've got an echo, sorry. It's because I'd come back on my YouTube stream and it had started. I'm back now, don't worry. Yeah, so Bayern have won, which is obviously disappointing, but they've got harder games to come. I think Bayern have got Leipzig to play, they've got Leverkusen to play, they've got Mönchengladbach to play, and they've definitely got Dortmund to play. I think that's a week next week, so that'll be interesting. How did we do? Did we get to 149,000? I bet we didn't. We're just going to fall short. So close. 15 subscribers away. I bet you've all subscribed already, bottom right hand corner. If you haven't, please do subscribe. We nearly got to 149,000. Pizza's the next cooking video, Tex. Ninand, thanks, and just to make it even better for you, you're blocked from the channel as well, so thanks for letting us know that, and we've just done what you wanted us to do basically, so thanks for that. Ever considered going bold, says Dylan Hanafi. No. I mean, look, it'd be very easy in this lockdown. I think the easiest haircut is to shave it all off. I just don't ever want to do that. So, no. Loco says that Union haven't rolled over for Bayern today. No, I think they've worked really hard. They just don't have the quality that Bayern do they? That's the bottom line at the end of the day. Nathan, that ghost story, a lot of people talk to me about that. It almost needs to be cut. I might do that actually. The ghost story almost needs its own little video. Yeah, 2-0, I think. Look, the Pavard goal was a legit goal. The penalty, I'm glad Bayern have won 2-0. If they'd won 1-0, I would have been really disappointed because I don't think that penalty is a penalty in the Premier League. I think United are back in training tomorrow, Haunted Radio. Yeah. Carling or Carlsberg, says Reese. I mean, look, neither are great brands of beer, but I drink both quite a lot because at the end of the day, it's wet and it's beer. I don't know what my weight is, MS. I daren't look at what my weight is at the moment because I've definitely put weight on. Anyway, look, I'm going to end it there because this game's over and there's an injury now with like 30 seconds to go. So, irrelevant. There's not going to be a comeback. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Subscribe if you're new. Smash a like. We'll be back on here tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 with the FIFA Career Mode second leg Champions League semi-final against Liverpool. And I'll be back at 8 o'clock on the United stand with Ricky and Adam. I'll see you then. Thanks for watching this afternoon. Enjoyed your company. I hope you enjoyed mine. Take care and I'll speak to you in a bit.